reminder that I believe we are coming to the end, or that people are in various places inside the fourth watch from noon to 16 o'clock. So we are in slightly different, perhaps, sectors of that, but it is that block. And then here, I believe we completed a round of combat.
Yes.
And in fact, the wagon must be in the two squares at this end of the bridge, or perhaps going ends to end. Something like this. Yeah, well, I'm sure. And then I would think it's not quite that wide.
No.
You could actually walk along next to it.
Yeah.
But that's approximately good. And you and Durnil have had your dispute. Obviously at the end of the wagon, right at the back of the wagon. So, he probably might try to pull you off of there. Or perhaps you were leaning over it and, rummaging or something. The poor donkey is over here. And Petrain would have been up here, either at the wagon. I don't think he was in it.
No.
The creature has come up from here, and it whipped over to attack Durnil right here.
Okay, that's new.
What's that?
That's new, because when we ended last time, it was just rising from the...
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, I think so.
Oops.
At least. Yeah.
Well, I wonder what it's planning on doing.
It ended with me cutting his arm.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I knew about that.
Yeah.
But yes, you have cut his arm, not as badly as you might have liked, but he did let go.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so that brings us to there. Exciting as all of that may be, let's take a look at some other people who are operating at slightly bigger timescales.
Yep.
And if we look at Osquen, as I recall, you were basically making a nuisance of yourself walking around talking to people with their vegetables and things. Now, I don't think this is necessary to roll. I think it is very clear you are from this area, and it's not a difficult topic at all. People are rapidly perceiving that no one is well prepared for the upcoming months. And although it is only the beginning of the autumn, it is still this is sort of the last chance to get the food to be dried and stored, and the harsh winter will hit, and we have to be ready before that. There's not enough. You can see it, and you can now see among everybody how stressed they are. There's clearly a lot of social stress going on. A quick other checks for you though. As I want to review though, did I leave out something of where you were and what you were doing?
No, I think that's correct. Out in the village area, the market area, or what it comes.
And there are some things that I want to establish for you. There is a great deal of information. You were inquiring about this alchemist, Petrain, and it's like pulling on the string. Things come with it. And I don't recall whether you had a success or not.
Neither do I, actually. I do not.
And the question would be a success in what? So can I see the skill list to see if there's some things I want you to... Well, technically, although it is not lethal intrigue, it is intrigue. So I think that we need to check your intrigue to see how much of this nice little paragraph here is going to come your way.
Yeah, but Osquen is quite adapted.
Okay, let's see what
54. 20.
20?
2-0. As a two.
Two.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Oh, 0-2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's too bad.
Yeah, 20 would be
Because
yeah.
it's because the critical is landing
Oh,
on
yeah,
the,
okay.
on
It's
the
even,
20.
Yeah.
So, or on a 5.
Exactly.
So, as it is a marginal success. The first thing that you'll be able to understand is that this fellow is clearly very directed. He wanted one thing. He wanted one place to go. He had a curiously precise notion of where he would go for a non-native person, especially if you were talking about walking around the little shanties around the coast and then into the fens. He seemed to be quite specific about where he needed to go.
He's informed.
And I want to keep this away from being a critical success. That your, I keep wanting to say mentor, I guess it's a mentor, is because you wouldn't, you don't know he's your father really. So therefore, David, he had a number of standing accounts with people who are more local and specific here. And he has actually closed out all debts completely. So he's, you don't know about what he's been doing in the keep. You didn't get a good enough role to get sort of second order, oh, my sister told me, that kind of thing. But as far as direct contact is concerned, he has clearly settled a bunch of things which would free up whatever capital he has.
Exactly.
And so, anything else? I don't want to lose a nice intrigue result, right? I think that the certain specifics are going to not be clear to you. I believe I already told you that he had hired Derniel, and you knew that. And that apparently Derniel, this is the last thing, Derniel was extremely happy in terms of whatever he may have received. Apparently this was a good gig as far as he was concerned.
Exactly.
Which is why he's a little bit a little bit motivated to do his job. Stop touching him. Right? So besides they didn't like you. Okay, there's our setup for you. And I'm very interested in whether you want to act on any of this or whether you still are feeling.
But of course I do. I want to talk to David, and I want to ask him what's going on. What's the next step? What's our next move? You're closing in accounts. Are we going to? Are we joining a caravan? Or moving on? Or are you moving on? And so on. Maybe ask him. I have a few questions for him. Maybe ask him why did he hire Darnell? What payment did he give? What sort of? I think those are valid questions. They're not very strange. Business acquaintances.
And also, Petrain is the alchemist, and David is the mercantile. So you clearly know and you already knew that they have.
They have and I would assume that David has shared this location with.
That's not
Petrain.
that
makes sense. They are working together, but the alchemist is the one that actually knows what to look for, given their general areas.
Now, I also want to tell you one more interesting thing. The village area, this whole little coastline, probably more of the coastline, has two cults or religions that are not in the big religion, the big pantheon. Upon reading this a while ago, I learned that there's a whole constellation of local religions everywhere. And that if you want to make them potent, the game master kind of folds them into one of the bigger gods and uses those rules, but they might not. And the point though is that people worship as they want with local stuff, and they don't necessarily know that they are serving Agric.
Yeah.
Or whoever. So in this case, the local observances, of which Morgoth would then be a sort of special prayer group, right? Is the one is the founder of Retha, the guy who last century actually sort of invented the realm, largely with the tribes of the north, integrating rapidly with everybody else. Right? So that's sort of a father of our country kind of myth that has turned ritualistic. Not too surprising. Kind of, he's not really a demigod, but he's at least a divinely inspired hero. And so then the other one is coastal, and it involves dreadful powers deep in the ocean that we all must observe and placate and hope they don't get angry at us, get angry at them. Those guys. And the one of the notable entities in this religion is called Kevantesis. I didn't make it up. Weird name. And it is this kind of cryptid sea demon monster turtle thing that is a basically it's a monster, but we're supposed to say it's a god or a godling and be nice to it and praise it and things like that. And so all of this is not too surprising that people would put on turtle heads or turtle jawbones and things, a couple of people, and others would wave certain colors on a banner. But it is perhaps a little bit over the top for them to be making kind of a parade, almost like a demonstration or at the moment, not very big and sort of well-behaved mob who are now kind of marching through this area with different people with their wares and things. And they are clearly, what they're really doing is expressing frustration and fear of starvation. They're shrieking in the praise of this creature, but they're also expressing their deep unhappiness with the matters as they stand right now. So they're not dangerous at the moment, but
but of course with Oswen's deep lack of religious belief at Piety 8, he of course observed this and I feel sympathy for them, and I'm sure he's real, but doesn't bother me.
Turtle Schmurtle.
Yeah, right. It probably exists. Yeah, and the founder of Kingdom. Yeah, of course he exists. He's an important guy.
Right.
And Morgoth, of course, it exists. It's an important guy.
Yeah. So, however, this is a bit of a disruption. So, as you are on your way back to the keep, which is here, and you are over here, I believe, perhaps I don't know if it's distressing, but by the time you're walking on this main area, you realize that they are spilling out into this avenue behind you and are headed your way. So they aren't moving very fast because they have to jump up and down and sing songs and stuff like that. But they are definitely moving with direction. There at this time are as many as 15 people. Again, not a mass movement or mob, but not inconsiderable either. They don't seem violent, and I don't know if you're really taking a closer look. You just said you were a little dismissive, so we are not going to talk about whether they are picking up heavy items or not.
No, it's just on the religious ceremony.
Right.
They are happen all the time.
Big fan of this localized play. I really like it.
Yeah. So that brings us then to the two of you who are over here. Unless you had walked around a little bit, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I was mainly trying to feed the information that you could bring to the constable, so that I wouldn't have to.
Yes, I remember that, and that worked. That was successful. At the moment, the constable is not present, but the Brion, your character's father, is. But he is now joined by the captain of the seamen, whose name is Narville.
Yes.
And he shows up and is talking to his people, and seems to at first be kind of chummy about the bonding that's been going on. Somebody points over, and that guy, right? That kind of thing. And so it seems like there's some positive interaction going on here.
Yeah, and you were invited to
Yes.
willing.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a scary Nordic style party tonight of some kind, and so that's all good news for you. And we will come to things as they proceed in a moment. What I want to know is any particular actions that you two are taking now, so I don't overrun them.
I only want to gather information and gather resources for tonight, because I don't want to. I'm not popular with my family, so I don't want to impose upon them. But still, they are my family, and I care for them, and I am worried about the situation, and I'm not only looking after myself.
Right.
Because I am dead without my family,
Right.
and of course they are my blood.
Yes.
So I will I'll try to help them. I got this potato and some bits of odds and beds and information, and I will do my best to try to get.
Okay, so are you starting to think about leaving the area?
Yes.
Okay, so to do that, you would then be, you would at least have a clearer view down the road. I don't know. I'm kind of wondering, much as it's ruining all the weaving of the situation,
I'm
this
happy doing
looks
nothing special.
This looks like it is some kind of more formal structure, perhaps the Agric observance place here. But I'm trying to think about where this inn is. I have a better...
Wouldn't it be like at the fish market and tanneries?
Possibly so.
Actually, if this is a secluded place, or perhaps I ought to use my prescience actively and try to really find out if...
Right, right. That's a good idea. But I do think we need to know where the inn is.
Yes.
So maybe I will throw that to... I actually was thinking maybe here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Partly because it's an unusual structure and doesn't look quite as utilitarian as the others.
Yeah.
And also because I kind of wanted the business side of your family. It probably would like to be conducted a little bit away from the more established dwellings, the better dwellings.
Yes, I imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was kind of looking for corners.
Right.
And that seems like a good corner.
Yes.
Okay.
Close to customers.
So if that's the case, then I think that you would be proceeding this way, which of course brings you roughly face to face, if at some distance, with Osquen.
Whom I don't know only by reputation or something.
But so it's not, I would say, a deep encounter. I'm just saying that the two of you can at least see each other physically to sort of establish where we are and what we are doing. And then the people are gathering here and seem to be attracting enough attention that more people are joining them. And so that's proceeding this way.
Okay, I'll do my best to fool a rich and successful out of towner, and I do my best begging act, and like poor me.
She's local though.
Yeah, look.
Oh, you're local.
Yeah.
Okay. So you seem to.
Yeah, I know you are. You are.